There is a moment, and every person who has been truly lost knows this moment, when the forest stops being a place and becomes a presence. Lucas reached that moment on the second day. Elena reached it 4 hours later. They were together. They were completely lost. Their radio was at the bottom of a river. And something was watching them. Not hunting. Not circling. Watching. On the third morning, Lucas woke up and it was sitting 3 meters from where they slept. A jaguar. A female, large, golden, marked with black rosettes like the forest itself had been pressed into her coat. She looked at him. He did not move. She looked away, into the trees. And he understood in that moment that she was not looking at them as prey. She was looking at them as the only other living things in the forest that mattered right now. Lucas was 41 years old, a conservation biologist with 15 years in the Amazon basin. He had spent more time in primary rainforest than in any city. He knew the Amazon the way musicians know their instrument, not perfectly, but intimately. Elena was 38, a documentary filmmaker who had spent 12 years making films about places most people never go. They had been together for 6 years. They worked together, traveled together, disagreed about everything except the things that mattered. This expedition was Elena's project, a documentary on the Kayapó indigenous territory in southern Para, Brazil. They had entered the forest with a full team, 6 people, 3 boats, equipment for 3 weeks. The equipment had not survived the river crossing. The accident happened on the 3rd day of travel, the boat capsizing in a rapid that their maps had not marked. No one was seriously hurt, but the boat was gone. The radio was gone. Most of their supplies were gone. Lucas and Elena stayed. Not from choice. Elena had an ankle injury from the capsize. She could walk, but not fast. Not far. They made camp on a high bank above the river. Lucas built the shelter. Elena documented everything, because that is what Elena did. Even lost, even hurt, even uncertain, she pointed the camera and she looked. On the second evening, something changed in the forest. Not a sound, a silence. The particular silence that Lucas had learned over 15 years meant a large predator was close. He said nothing to Elena. He added wood to the fire. He woke Elena with a touch on her shoulder. Elena opened her eyes and saw the jaguar and did not make a sound. This is why Lucas loved her. This is why they worked together. Elena raised her camera. The jaguar did not react. When Elena moved to the river's edge to fill water bottles, the jaguar moved not toward Elena, but parallel. Watching the bank, watching the water, as if checking it was safe. Lucas said to Elena, "She is not tracking us." Elena said, "What is she doing?" Lucas said, "I think she is also lost." Two lost things in the same piece of forest, recognizing each other. It happened on the 3rd afternoon. He heard Elena call his name, not a scream. His name, clear and direct. He ran back. When he arrived, Elena was standing very still at the edge of the camp. The jaguar was between her and the tree line. Not facing Elena, facing the trees. Her posture had changed completely from the morning's calm. He saw nothing. He listened. And then he heard it, the particular movement of something large in the undergrowth. A black caiman, a large one, perhaps 4 meters, had come up the bank from the river. The jaguar had detected it before either of them. She held her position between them and the caiman. She did not attack. She did not need to. The caiman, registering the jaguar's presence, turned and went back into the water. jaguar watched it go. Then she turned and walked back to her position near the camp. She sat down. She began to groom her paw, as if nothing had happened. As if this was simply what she did. The third night was the hardest. Lucas had miscalculated their food. They had enough for one more day, perhaps two if they were careful. The river had risen. Elena's ankle was worse. He sat by the fire and ran the numbers, and the numbers were not good. He spoke to her, not because he thought she understood, because speaking to something alive in the dark is what humans do when the dark is very dark. He told her about the river crossing they needed to make. He told her about Elena's ankle. The jaguar's eyes did not move. She listened the way animals listen, with the whole body. In the morning, Lucas found something. At the edge of the camp, placed with a precision that could have been coincidence and probably was not. A large river fish, fresh caught, still wet from the water. He did not know if the jaguar had left it. He chose to believe she had. Elena filmed him finding it. Neither of them spoke. The rescue team found them on the morning of the fourth day. A boat came up the river at 7 in the morning. Lucas heard the engine before he saw it. He stood up and waved. He turned to tell Elena. The jaguar was gone. She had heard the boat before they had. She had left before the humans arrived. As if she understood that her part was done. The lead rescuer looked around the camp and asked, "Were you alone out here?" Lucas and Elena looked at each other. Lucas said, "Not exactly." Elena's documentary changed. It became about something larger. About the jaguar, the Onca Pintada, as the Amazon's keystone predator. About what is lost when they disappear. The film was released 18 months later. It was seen by 4 million people. Elena says the image she thinks about most is not the jaguar watching the caiman. It is the jaguar grooming her paw afterward, the absolute normalcy of it. The thing done, no drama, no acknowledgement, just the paw and the tongue and the forest going on. Lucas has been back to that section of forest 3 times. He has not seen her again. He has looked. He looks every time. He says the Amazon has 100 million secrets. He says he was allowed inside one of them for 3 days. He does not take that lightly. Some things happen once. They are enough. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Subscribe to Bound to Survive. A new story every week.